Now, our top focus on WION. Mahsa Amini has become a household name across the world. The Iranian woman became the face of dissent against a crackdown on women's rights. At a time when all eyes are on Tehran, one would expect and think that the morality police will be in line. But that's not the case. 16-year-old Nika Shakarami has died just hours after attending a protest. According to her mother, she was last seen standing on a dumpster and burning her headscarf in the capital. Hundreds others were standing along with her, chanting slogans. That was 20th of September. She soon left the protest sites after being chased by the police. This latest video has put police's version under the lens. Just last week, the state TV showed a blurry footage of a girl walking down an alley and entering a building. Officials claimed that the girl was Nika and that she was thrown from the under-construction building. Her body was found in a morgue 10 days later by her family after she went missing. Since the start, the victim's mother has denied all of these allegations and blamed the authorities for killing Shakarami. The family even denied that the video released by the police is not of their daughter. The mother has also alleged that two of her family members were forced into making false statements. Now, Nika is not the only young female protester to have been killed during the unrest. Iranian Society for Protecting the Rights of Child reported that a total of 28 children have been killed since the protests erupted. The latest incident has revived the growing anger against Iranian authorities. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei's administration has been accused of imposing restrictions on women. From public movement to dress code, there are laws regulating every aspect of a woman's life. Current protests are being seen as hopeful start for a change. Demonstrations are extremely uncommon in the country, let alone one led by women. Now for more on this, we are being joined by M. Amiri from Oslo. He's the director of an NGO named Iran Human Rights. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, my first question to you is, at a time when all eyes are on Iran, one would expect that morality police will be more cautious with its response. But reports show that another woman has fallen victim to their crackdown. Are you seeing any signs of the situation getting better for the Iranian women?
You see that the protests that started or were triggered by the murder of Mahsa Amini, as you said in the report, by the morality police, they have now become a nationwide protest against the Islamic Republic of Iran. So people have had enough of 43 years of oppression by highly incompetent and corrupt authorities. So what we see now on the streets is actually they want to have a fundamental change where all human beings have their basic human rights. So it started with protecting for women's rights and protesting against the suppression of women. Now is a protest that wants fundamental change. The young girls that you see are beaten and murdered. They are beaten by the security. By today, I think Iran, at least 200, more than 200 people have been killed last 3 weeks during the protests, and as you said, more than 20 of them are children.
Absolutely. Now, the latest protester to die is just 16 years old, as we just discussed. She was essentially a child. Do you think there is any limit to Iran's suppression?
Unfortunately, what we have seen both before and also during these protests, that Iranian authorities are willing to go very far to hold on the power. Last time we had nationwide protests in November 2019. They shut down the internet and they killed, according to some reports, up to 1,500 people. And at that time, the protests stopped. But this time, they have been using the same methods. They shoot at people, they beat them, as you say. Some of them are children, young girls who just go out and they just take off their headscarves and chant that we want freedom, and they are beaten to death. So we are very concerned that if the international community doesn't show a strong reaction to the Iranian authorities, they might go very far in killing these innocent protesters who are just calling for their fundamental rights, and the human casualties will increase significantly.
Exactly. I was just going to come to that. I wanted to ask about the global aspect of it. The protests have long spilled outside the Iranian borders. Some have even taken place in your own city. So how do you think the international community can make a change in Iran?
Well, the change must come from inside. The change will come by the Iranian people, like, any major change in any dictatorships. The drivers of this change are these young girls and boys and men and women inside the country. But what the international community can do is to force Iran to limit the human casualties. So I think that the international community must send a united warning to the Iranian authorities, and they must also establish mechanisms at the UN to hold those responsible for these atrocities, for shooting at people, responsible. And this can be done if the international community stands together, supports Iranian people's demands of fundamental human rights, and establish mechanisms to hold Iranian leaders accountable. I think that's what international community can do and must do.
Right. Okay, we will leave it to that. Thank you for speaking with us, Mr. M. Amiri.
Thank you so much.